no miraba. No? Papa, this is interview up here. Hey, I'm from one. I remember my one. But this is still for
Let's go downstairs, guys. But if they pass out. Adi.
sorry.
Go back. So that you have a nice view. Don't push each other. All right. Two steps. You're okay. CG.
Afternoon, Mr. Malema. Could you just give us the update of your discussion? It was quite lengthy with the former First Lady.
Well, I came to send my condolences, and I did that on behalf of the people of South Africa, people of the EFF, and to thank Mr. Mugabe for having looked after President Mugabe until the last minute. We're here to tell her in person that we're very proud of her, and she serves as an inspiration to a lot of us, and that she must protect President Mugabe's legacy with everything against any form of opportunism which will want to ride behind the legacy of President Mugabe, even when they tormented him to the last day. And we were giving her our support, that we really support her and the family, and we respect the last wishes of President Mugabe, and that in our African traditions, the weights of the disease cannot be undermined by anyone. It doesn't matter how powerful you think you are. And really that's what we're here for, and we want to thank her for welcoming us into her home. Anyway, we are the children of this house. President Mugabe himself welcomed us before, and we are always at home when we're in Zimbabwe.
You said that people tormented him to the very end. Which people are those?
Well, there are certain things that the family would have agreed with the authorities about how President Mugabe will be looked after, especially after office, including provision of medical care, medical team, and commitment to certain benefits of a former head of state, and that didn't happen. Many of those didn't take place, and we shouldn't be the type of society where we celebrate our leaders when they are still fit and proper and strong, and when they are no longer in a position to be in positions of leadership, we start looking the other way and behaving like we've never sang songs about these people. We've never regarded them as our heroes.
You spoke about legacy earlier on, defending the legacy of the later statesman. Leaders like you, political leaders like you, and people like Nelson Chamisa, what role can you guys play in defending the legacy that these fathers have put for us?
We ought to be fearless. We ought to be Pan-Africanist in character. we should know that Africa is not a continent, but a country. We are one people. We should fight for the borderless continent because these borders were imposed on us by the imperialist forces. They are not of our own. And when you say you're a student or an activist of anti-colonialism, yet at the same time support borders, you are unwittingly supporting colonialism. We need one Africa with one currency, with one president. We need Africa that is going to grow politically, economically, socially, and otherwise, which will be regarded as China, as America, as Europe, as an equal, not as a by the way type of a thing. The unity of African people, the unity of Africa is a direct threat to imperialism and colonialism. And that's why they spend too much effort dividing us, because they can only thrive through division. These old people were trying to teach us that we are one thing. Look at President Mugabe. After defeating Ian Smith and his forces, they don't take the land because they know that if we take the land with immediate effect, it will derail the revolution of South Africa. And therefore, let's wait until the South Africans have attained their freedom, so that together we can now join efforts to fight for the economic emancipation. Who does that if those people don't regard you as their own? They regard South Africans as their own. They derail their own revolution for South Africa to make progress so that we can move forward. So they've always been driven by the interest of Africans wherever they are. President Mugabe spoke truth to power. He was never scared of the white man. And a lot of us are very submissive to white people. And every time he spoke, something inside us, even when you didn't like him, something inside us was always reawakened by Mugabe's speeches, because he was saying the things that cowards were scared to say. Whether you are in the diaspora, whether you are anywhere in the continent, you always felt represented by what President Mugabe will say, be it at the UN General Assembly, be it in the AU or at SADC platforms. He always spoke for the black man, because he knew that black men, wherever they are not liked. They are being rejected, they are treated as slaves, they are treated as subhumans. And only speaking truth to power will inspire confidence for the black man to rise and fight for his rightful place on earth, and fight to be treated as a human being and as an equal.
Do you think that President Mugabe's legacy is safe in the hands of the new dispensation in Zimbabwe?
Well, we will not necessarily say it is safe or not. It is for us who are remaining to protect it. We shouldn't rely on those who envy President Mugabe, because I think there are others who envy, and there can only be one Mugabe. These are chances, so they shouldn't even try and want to be like him. They won't even come anywhere close to him. So it is for those who believe in what he stood for, who should protect his legacy. And if the current dispensation here believes in President Mugabe, they should protect his legacy. Part of protecting his legacy is first and foremost to respect his last wishes and to respect the wishes of his family. It's an absolute nonsense that you think declaring a person a national hero takes away the right of the family over the deceased. The family, especially the surviving spouse, has got the last word. It doesn't matter whether you have declared a person a national hero, whether you are doing a state funeral. Every little detail of what you want to do around a dead body should be consulted with the family, particularly when we are Africans. And There's a very strong surviving spouse here, which is not easily shaken by arrivalists. So they ought to really respect her and respect the wishes of this family.
Are you aware of these wishes? The military coup of 2017, do you think South Africa in particular and the African Union could have played a different role in stopping the military coup that overthrew President Mugabe?
Once there is a military intervention, how you intervene becomes very important because it can worsen the situation. That's why in most cases where there are military interventions, we as diplomats, you wait and see and advise from the sidelines until the situation is manageable to a point of intervention. None of us here says President Mugabe should have left office with a coffin. We all wanted him to leave. That's why even during the military interventions, some of us engaged our presidents to receive him because we were scared they were going to kill him. And we didn't want him to be removed in a manner that is humiliating, in a manner that will lead to his death. But we are all in agreement that he should be released, but not in a manner they did. This type of interventions, if they are allowed, they may become an unacceptable phenomenon for the region of SADC. And we shouldn't allow a situation where the military interferes with the political affairs. The military must always be in the camps and allow the civilians to deal with politics. And that conversation of President Mugabe leaving an office was always there. That conversation was there. And everybody else, Mama Mugabe knows that, and she was agreeable to it. The fact that they were actually even accusing her of wanting to succeed him, it means the conversation of him going was there.